Well, good morning, everybody. What a great turnout here. Thank you for coming to the 11th Annual MedTech Investors Conference. The great turnout in the room here is another example of the strong commitment that the Minnesota business community has to the medical device industry. So I thank you for attending. And I'd also like to thank the meeting organizers for asking me to start the session with such an uplifting topic. That was a little bit of humor I was trying to add to the morning here. The state of venture capital activity in the medical device market. My message today is going to be mixed emotions. Mixed emotions is my theme today. I think everyone in the room knows the difficulties, the challenges that the medical device industry is having in terms of venture capital activity, in terms of fundraising activity. However, there are signs to be hopeful. There are signs of optimistic activity, particularly with the volume of dollar investments we saw in the first quarter of 2012. So I'm going to jump right in here. The first thing I'd like to point out that this is the MoneyTree Report, which is prepared by PricewaterhouseCoopers and the National Venture Capital Association with data provided by Thomson Reuters. The MoneyTree survey is in its 15th year, and more data, more information can be found at the website www.pwcmoneytree.com. I want to start first with some national information, and this is all industries, but what we're seeing nationally in 2011 is an increase in deal volume, a slight increase to about 3,800 deals in 2011 compared to 3,700 deals in 2010, so a slight increase. Again, this is across all industries. But I think what's more important to note is that the dollar volume for 2011 was $29 billion compared to $23 billion a year ago. So what we're seeing is an increase in dollars invested across all industries nationally. And I think a more telling data point is that the average deal size is increasing as well. And this chart also shows deal activity in stage of investment. And the key thing to note is that orange section in the bottom of each graph there, each column, and that orange section is the seed, the startup rounds. And you can see in total, seed activity is remaining flat year over year. But as a percent of total investments, it's actually down. And I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Minnesota in 2011 had what I would call a nice rebound year, both in terms of total deals and number of dollars. In 2011, in Minnesota, we saw 44 deals totaling about $274 million. So a slight recovery. I do want to actually go back to that first slide to put the national activity in context. Again, in 2011, there was about $29 billion of investment nationally. The record year, the all-time record year we all know was 2000, and there was over $105 billion of investment activity in 2000. So again, keep it in context historically of where we're at. What we're seeing nationally is that medical device, which is that orange section at the bottom of the graph, medical device for 2011 is just a hair under 10% of total venture capital activity in the US, which is roughly the same as a year ago. In the US, the main sectors receiving the venture capital funding in 2011 were industrial products, internet, and media, which would be included in that pink section. And as I mentioned, medical device is about 10% of the total investment dollars nationally. Pretty much flat year over year, but a little bit of a decline compared to earlier years. And then again, what we're seeing is a rise nationally in medical device investments up to $2.8 billion compared to $2.4 million in 2010. But again, more importantly, and I'll come to this in a little bit, is that the deal size is increasing at a larger rate. In Minnesota, medical device investments, about 125 million in 2011. Historically, in this community, medical device has been a very large percentage, more than half of VC activity in Minnesota. However, what we saw in the first quarter of 2012 is a large software investment, and also in 2011 we saw a large biotech investment, which is leading us to believe that there is more diversity in venture capital activity in Minnesota in recent times. Minnesota historically has been near the top in terms of percentages of venture capital received. However, the top states, California and Massachusetts, are the 600-pound gorillas, and everyone else is kind of fighting for the leftovers after that. Minnesota is historically around 4% in terms of receiving total medical device venture capital dollars. And again, deal size is increasing. Minnesota deal size is effectively flat year over year. And this is where I wanted to spend a little bit more time. This is a deal pipeline. And I mentioned earlier that the seed rounds are receiving less money. And this chart demonstrates what's going on with seed activity in California, Massachusetts, Minnesota, and then all the other states. All other states are in pink, California in orange. And as you can see, as a percent of total investment activity, the seed round is declining. It's declining at a pretty strong rate. Early stage volume is decreasing. Venture capitalists remain cautious and are focusing more on later stage investments. Now, I said early there's mixed emotions with this, and the reason why I say there's mixed emotions, there could be a positive sign to this downward trend, and that is as the later stage companies, as they have their exit activity, eventually the venture capitalists will replenish their portfolios, which could result in increased investment with seed rounds. So time will tell on that one, but I am an optimistic and hopeful to see this trend change down the road. There's no question that there are big challenges in the industry with respect to regulatory and reimbursement uncertainty. Yet venture capitalists recognize the innovative opportunities with these leading companies who can develop the breakthrough products and go through these challenges to an eventual successful exit. I believe that will happen down the road. It's just a matter of time, and we will see how things develop. And then we've included a list here of the most active VC firms, very similar names to what you've seen in the past, some household names on here. And then also what we have here is a listing of all the state activity in 2011. I did mention that Minnesota is near the top, consistently ranking 3rd or 4th in total venture dollars raised as a percent of total. However, the thing to note is California is more than half of the nation's U.S. venture capital activity in the medical device space. Massachusetts, another key player, around 10%. Then my feeling is the rest of the states sort of battle for the leftovers. In that battle, Minnesota is consistently 3rd or 4th nationwide. So with that, again, I thank you for your participation, your interest in this. I will be at the conference all day today. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Again, I'd like to thank our hosts for organizing this, and I'll turn it over to Kevin now for introduction to our next speaker. Thank you very much.